Hi everyone, it's me with the information that you'll need to know for your quiz that will be coming up on Friday through Monday. Same rules apply. You'll have access to this video for the entire time, and I will probably just leave it up for the rest of the semester just in case you need to go back to it as you're studying and preparing for your midterms and your finals. This is going to be relatively brief because we have talked a lot about the next two genera that are in the PowerPoint presentation, which would be Clostridium and Bacillus. And in addition to that, I have, if you haven't noticed already, I have uploaded several mini videos in regard to those bacterial diseases. And they contain a lot of good information, and the animations that they have in some of them, particularly in regard to Clostridium tetani, really good information and animations to see how that particular microorganism affects the central nervous system and why we call it lockjaw and why the muscle spasms occur. So please make sure you take time, not just for that one, but for all of the videos that I've uploaded. And you will find those under course documents. And then when you click on course documents, there should be a folder that says videos. The majority of them are just informative videos in regard to the microorganisms that we're covering in the chapter, but there are a couple that are really kind of interesting in regard to persons that have developed those diseases, and particularly when you get to Mycobacterium tuberculosis and Mycobacterium avium, the disease transmission and the MAC complex itself. I think there's an uploaded video from 2008. I believe that the actual incident was from 2003, but it's a woman who developed an infection as a result from taking a shower. So make sure you look at all of them so that you'll have the information, the general information that you need to know about the bacteria. All right, so having said that, your quiz will cover spore-forming bacilli as well as actinomycetes and associated bacteria. So that's really not that many. The note cards that you should have, there should be one for Clostridium tetani, one for Clostridium perfringens, even though under Clostridium perfringens we have two different pathogenicities. Gas gangrene, as we've talked about before, is antemortem, and tissue gas is what it's referred to postmortem. So that can just be one note card. There is no video associated with that one because I think we've discussed the fact that these particular microorganisms have the ability to form endospores. And one of the important factors about the Clostridia as well as the bacilli is that in order to prevent cross-contamination, it's important to make sure that we sterilize our instruments or anything that we're using on the case that may have tissue gas, because if not, then we just know that if the instruments are not sterilized, we have the potential to be able to cross-contaminate not just one, but how many ever other cases we use those same instruments on. So there's no video associated with that one, and I believe we did discuss the fact excuse me, that there are other mechanisms other than just an autoclave to sterilize. We can also use a glutaraldehyde chemical bath in order to achieve the same results. There is a video for Clostridium botulinum. Clostridium botulinum causes botulism, so you only need one note card for that. And don't forget the not so scientific way of remembering which genus is aerobic and which genus is anaerobic. The one that has the most letters would be anaerobic, and the one that has fewer would be aerobic. Okay, under Bacillus anthracus, now here here you will need 3 different note cards because some of them have different portals of entry. And you'll notice that we have malignant pustule, which is a skin infection, Pulmonary, also referred to as wool sorters. That's inhalation. Anytime we hear the word pulmonary, we should think lung. And then typhoidal is an intestinal infection. So that would have to be as a result of ingestion. So there should be a total of 3 note cards that you have for that one pathogen. Let's see, turning over to, and that's all you have under the spore forming bacilli. Please remember what the 2 different states are called in regard to if the microorganism has actually created the endospore, and if conditions have changed, then they can go back into the other state. So there's a sporulating state and there's a vegetative state. When you move on to the next group of microorganisms, there are only 3 note cards that you're required to do. That's one for Corynebacterium diphtheriae. There is a video for that one, as well as for Mycobacterium tuberculosis and avium. We've discussed Mycobacterium tuberculosis so much that I feel like all of you, including me, are blue in the face because we've talked about it so much. But just make sure you still access that information in regard to it. Corynebacterium diphtheriae causes, obviously its species name tells us what it causes. It causes diphtheria, and the video explains how that particular disease is transmitted as well. And then Mycobacterium avium is sometimes referred to as the MAC complex. We know that this is the opportunistic pathogen. It has to wait for the opportunity or the chance to cause the disease that it has the ability to cause, because the immune system of the host needs to be compromised or in some way or fashion in order for it to be able to cause disease. That's what an opportunistic pathogen is. So, like I said, there's not that much. The videos give you a wealth of information. You have the PowerPoint presentation, and I actually believe that maybe with some of them in the PowerPoint, it actually has a hyperlink to some of these videos, but I just wasn't certain. So I just made sure that I made all of them accessible in that bacterial videos folder. So for the note cards that you need to include, you would need to have one for Clostridium tetani, one for Clostridium perfringens, one for Clostridium botulinum, 3 for Bacillus anthracis, 1 for Clostridium diphtheriae, 1 for Mycobacterium tuberculosis, and 1 for Mycobacterium avium. And that's really it. So those are the only microorganisms that you will be quizzed on for your next quiz. If you have any questions, you can always feel free to contact me as needed. So I'll talk to you soon. Thanks a lot.